Ever stop to think how much those little impulse buys on your phone are adding up to, and how many subscription payments are sneaking out of your bank account every single month? Before I started using Rocket Money, let me tell you, I had no idea. But the first time I logged in, I saved $435. I couldn't believe it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I just love the dashboard. It shows everything in one place, even the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. And if there's something you don't need, Rocket Money helps you cancel it. Plus, it alerts you if a bill increases or if something unusual pops up in your account. It's basically like having a personal assistant for your money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of November 18th, 2023. Thank you for being a community member. Here's hour one.
I always like to kick things off with something super fun and interesting. And remember when I told you guys and gals a few weeks ago that some iPhone owners actually stray from texting Android owners because they don't want to deal with the green bubbles? Good news, the heavens have spoken. Next year, Apple says they're going to support something called RCS messaging. That's Android messaging. In a big software update. This means the end of the green bubble shame. Android owners, you can now get high-res photos and videos sent to you through iPhones and vice versa. There's just one little issue. RCS messaging isn't end-to-end encrypted, so you have to keep aware of all your security concerns. And on that happy note, you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing, right? And to those joining us for the first time, a warm welcome to you. We're just thrilled to have you aboard. And to our lawyer listeners, a huge welcome back. Darling, you look amazing. I'm, of course, Kim Komando, America's digital goddess. And it's the biggest show. It's the most trusted show. It's the biggest show about all things digital. And you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top radio stations throughout the United States. And you can also find us as a podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K. Again, wherever you get your podcasts, it's called Kim Komando Today. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network radios, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members serving in 175 different countries and 200 ships at sea. I love that. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And I need two things from you. Number one, the best way for me to grow our show and podcast is for you, that's right, I said you, for you to tell at least one person about the show and the podcast. And the other thing is that I want to get some feedback from you. I want to hear from you. So head over to komando.com. Let me know what you want to know more about, what you want to hear more of or less of, whatever it may be. And then just hit that link that says email Kim. All right, just for you, dear one, I check out at least 35 different websites every single day. And here are the top 5 things you need to know about tech that's happening right now. Now, I understand that we all want to drive over the speed limit. Well, the National Transportation Safety Board, they want to put an end to all of that. How? By putting what they're saying, intelligent speed assist technology. Let me tell you again, intelligent speed assist technology in your car. Here's how it works. It uses your car's GPS, matches it with a database of posted speed limits and onboard cameras to come up with the legal speed limit. From there, this tech could either warn you to slow down, buddy, or it's going to slow down your car all by itself. Wow. Limiting your car from going over a posted speed limit. So tech is definitely watching you. Now, in Europe, it's already in all new vehicles. The NTSB has asked the big 17 automakers, BMW, Ford, GM, the rest, to pop new vehicles in with these features. And I can hear you right now. Yeah, me too. I'm keeping my 1964.5 Mustang forever. Oh, number 2 is disappointing to me. The food industry is not your friend, especially when it feeds you propaganda and lies on social media. The FTC sent out more warnings this past week to social media influencers. This time, they're working for both Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Yeah, these influencers, they don't have the knowledge or credentials to hand out health advice. They were promoting artificial sweeteners and sugary foods to their 6 million followers on Instagram and TikTok. But they never mention that they're being paid to do so, and that's the problem. People who positively react to a pitch to buy something will often have a totally different reaction if they know that the person recommending the product is being paid to do so. So if you're on social media, always ask a few questions. Who is this person? What are their credentials? Why are they recommending this product? You got to be smart, folks. Number 3, this is a crazy story, really. If you're in a family that you're having trouble conceiving, I don't recommend this. Okay, now let me go back. Going to the sperm bank is expensive. A vial of the magic juice can cost you $1,000. And if that donation doesn't work out, you have to go back and then you spend another grand. So things start adding up. So some families are heading over to Facebook and special groups because they're getting the sperm for free. Yeah. There are loads and loads of Facebook groups out there where sperm donors and ladies are linking up. Here's an ad for a donation that I saw myself. Hello, I'm Joe Schmo. I'm 34, 6'2" tall, brown hair and blue eyes. I'm open to any method that you're comfortable with. I'll answer any questions that you have. I have a high, healthy sperm count. I have 2 daughters, my own, and 70 donor children. Okay. I like this. Any method you are comfortable with. All right. Most of the time, the guys are going to live in the area, drive over and, do the donation. Moms have at-home artificial insemination kits. Okay. There are just so many wrong things here, and we've got to move on. Number 4, selfie-related deaths are now a public health risk. What's going on? A recent study took a look at selfie accidents from around the world. Believe it or not, nearly 400 people worldwide lost their lives while taking selfies between 2008 and 2021. What a waste. The study took a look at who's most at risk of dying from taking a selfie. The average age is 22. They're female and probably a tourist. The most dangerous spot to take a selfie is also the most unsurprising large heights. Okay, so let's get away from the dangerous photo ops, okay, folks? And finally, this is totally a facepalm to me too, like the whole thing about the Facebook groups. There's a TikTok profile that is going crazy. It's 70 videos so far of computer-generated AI Jesuses talking to you. They tell you to stop scrolling to watch a video. Now, I know that if you're listening, you can't see this, but just imagine that an image of Jesus on a TikTok video is talking to you, and here's what it sounds like.
If you skip this video, it's because this person is not part of your life. This person is here in my house. If it were up to me, I would never let them leave. But they told me that they need to go, so I pointed the way to your house, as I know that you will receive them with all the love in the world. His name is Jesus Christ. Now say very quietly, come in, Lord.
Okay, and it goes on and on and on. And it promises you some type of surprise. Like, if you share this video, you will get good news soon. If you comment, amen, good things are going to be happening to you. Now, the person behind this TikTok profile isn't spreading light. They're making money. Okay, creators earn money per views. Now, the clip I just played for you, the guy probably made on TikTok, I don't know, $1,000. So these people are just today's version of carnival barkers and those fake tent revival ministers. Just shameless. If you've ever faced a medical problem that just seemed like it had no solution, Gary LaRocque totally knows how you feel. After a 5-year wait on an organ donation list for a kidney, he was starting to lose hope. And that's when he and his family decided to try something new, something different. A Facebook post. His daughter needed a photo of Gary on her social media, him in a shirt that says organ donor needed. Well, this is really crazy. That Facebook post caught the eye of Cecilia Hendy, a homeschool mom of 5. Something about Gary's message, she said, just resonated with her. So it's not every single day that you hear about someone donating a kidney to a total stranger. So here to talk to us about it is Gary and Cecilia. Wow, what a story. Amazing.
Thanks for having us.
It's a crazy story, that's for sure.
So, Gary, what happened that led you up to this point where you actually needed to have a kidney donated?
Well, I believe it was high blood pressure and diabetes that, ruined my kidney.
And Cecilia, you were just like scrolling on Facebook and you ran across this?
I was. The power of social media. I was one quiet morning just scrolling on Facebook, and the black and white sweatshirt that said kidney donor needed just caught my attention immediately. And I thought, why not? Like, I think I'm free to do this.
But that's a really big step to donate a kidney to a total stranger.
It is. And honestly, as soon as I saw the picture, I just felt it in my whole soul that I was supposed to do this. And I knew it was going to be me, some divine intervention. And I didn't tell anybody. I went and got tested and I was a match.
Wow. And so Gary, how did you find out that all this was going on?
Well, my transplant coordinator called and said that, what did you do? She got more than just Cecilia's call. She got some other calls as well. And she wanted to know what I did to get all this, all this interest. And then I knew somebody was testing, but we didn't know who it was. And then later on, she has a crazy story about meeting my daughter in a parking lot.
Oh, well, let's go there next. Tell us about that.
Okay, so maybe 3 days after I found out I was a match, I hadn't reached out to the family yet. I knew them through mutual friends on Facebook, and I hadn't seen his daughter in about 10 years. And I was just driving through a Target parking lot, and she was right in front of my car. So I was able to pull over,
oh gosh,
run out, tell her the good news. So we had a moment in the Target parking lot where we just hugged and cried.
Wow. And then Gary, how did you find out all this was going on?
Well, my daughter, she told us that she says, "Mom, Dad, can you get Mom and both get on the phone?" And I thought, oh man, she got in an accident or something. She sounded like she was crying. And sure enough, she brought up Cecilia's name and told us all about the story. And it was just crazy. She says, I'm in, I'm all in. And still brings tears to my eyes.
Well, you know what, Gary? If it didn't, I'd be worried about you, right? Okay. I mean, this is a totally 100% life-changing moment that just happened. I mean,
Totally.
What was life like before the transplant as compared to now?
Well, no freedom at all. Hooked to a hose. Every night I had to hook up to dialysis, 8 hours. And now I'm free. I'm just totally free to do anything I want to do.
Wow.
Feeling great. Just awesome.
And that must just incredibly warm your heart, Cecilia, right?
Absolutely. So many miracles that led up to the surgery, we were on the right path. We live miles from each other, which was another miracle. And now that we're on the other side of surgery, I get to see Gary sitting in his hot tub drinking coffee in the morning or out in their new RV, camping overnight because he's not hooked to equipment. And it just brings so much joy to my life. And I get to teach my kids that we can do big things.
And I was going to ask you about the takeaway, is that anything is possible and to help each other and mankind. I mean, we live in a time where every news story is just negative, and people are angry and mean, and especially on social media. Sometimes people get anonymous and they get, I don't know, these alter egos, but it's really wonderful to hear a nice story, a good story.
She actually saved my life twice in my eyes. We were supposed to have this surgery back in April. And during the testing, they found out I had heart problems. So I wound up getting a triple bypass.
Wow.
And she hung around and waited until I was in shape to get the kidney, which is just blows my mind. I mean, it's just amazing.
Well, organ donation is a subject that's near and dear to my heart. I was 14 years old when I had a cornea transplant. And I had it's one of those things like when you're running in the playground, your mother says, be careful, you're going to get poked in the eye. You're like, no, I'll be fine. I got poked in the eye, right? And the transplant lasted a really long time. And then this past May, I got another cornea transplant to replace the original one. And I can tell you, it's been life-changing for me. I went from 2,400 in my right eye to now it's at 2,100. I've got to get the stitches out, and we're hoping to get down to 2,050. And so I encourage anybody who's listening, check that box, on your driver's license to be an organ donor, to donate your organs, because, you don't need them anymore. Okay. You don't. It just.
If you can't donate an organ, donate blood or share someone else's social media post. You never know where it's going to lead.
Well, I suspect that you guys are going to be joined at the proverbial hip for many, many years.
Yep, for sure.
Well, thank you for sharing your inspirational story with us, and God bless you, both of you. And just this morning, I heard about something just like this that happened on TikTok. A few months ago, a gal got on there and she said in a man's voice, "You have what I want." And then a couple of months later, guess what? She got a donated kidney from somebody she didn't even know who just happened to watch that video. So, wow, definitely a strat that seems to be working. Hey, have you ever wondered how your home looked before you bought it? That's where you want to get on Google Maps, because you can kind of do this whole time travel trick. Go wherever your first home was located. Just type that address in and then pay close attention and find the upper left-hand portion of any street view image and then click on the clock. Oh my gosh, so fun. You can just move the slider left and right. You can see what it looked like over time. Again, that's like a time travel trick inside Google Street View. There's a new problem parents are facing everywhere. It's a question that I just seem to be getting more and more. When is it the right time to hand that first smartphone over to the kiddos? Okay. There isn't some magical age. It really depends on the maturity level of your kid, but I suggest waiting until around, middle school, 9 years old. And you don't ever just want to hand a phone over. You want to put on parental controls, so this way you can see everything that the child does and sees on the phone. And then, of course, you want to have the smartphone stranger danger talk. To help out, I've got a free tech contracts. I cover all the most important points, whether it's sharing passwords, taking the phone out at dinner time, sexting. Yeah, that happens in middle school. You need to have that chat. So make your kids read and agree. It's absolutely free. And I want you to share it with anybody you want, by the way. Komando.com/contract. That's Komando.com/contract. All right, back to the phones we go with Patty in Peoria, Illinois.
Okay, my father is 95. He is moving in with me. We are buying for him the Lifeline so that when we are away, if something should happen, Lifeline will take care of him and get the phone calls out.
That's good.
But while we're here and I'm in the basement or I'm out in the garden or whatever, I need a way for him to be able to talk to, or I don't even care if he talks to me. I just need him to buzz me and say, "I need you." Okay. So even if I just get a buzz, it doesn't matter. I just don't want him to get it confused with the Lifeline, because I don't want him punching the Lifeline button every 2 minutes, trying to call me. So that's what I'm looking for.
Well, what I would do is I would buy some inexpensive Echo Dots. They're around $30. I'd put them strategically throughout the house, like you said, in the basement, in the garage, wherever it may be, and put the Alexa app on your phone. So when your dad says, "Alexa, call Patty," that all the Echo devices will actually, they'll actually become like an intercom system, or you can have it just transmit into certain places. But this way he doesn't have to touch anything. He just has to say that.
Okay. So he has to learn to say, "Alexa, call Patty." And the call is the, it would be, I know Alexa has certain words that you have to use. But.
Well, it would, and that's what he'd say. And you could actually program it to say something else if you wanted to, or,
I see. Okay.
But you say, "Alexa, call Patty," and all the Amazon Echoes that are operating like that old school intercom system would come alive, and you'd hear your dad say, you'd hear your dad say that, and then you're like, "Okay, I need to go check on him." Okay. Now, all these Echo Dots, they have to be on the same network, the same Wi-Fi network. They have to be registered to the same Amazon account. You're going to set up voice calling and messaging. There's also something called drop-in. And what that means is you will like this because let's say you're in the basement and you're like, gosh, I haven't heard from Dad for like an hour, right? So you can say, drop in, Alexa, drop in on Dad. And then his speaker would make a noise and you can say, hey, Dad, how are you? And then he can talk to you.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't realize you could do that. Okay.
So it's a, you don't need a lot of these depending upon, how many rooms.
Yeah, right.
But they're like $30 each. And it's really simple to set up. What I'll do is I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to send you some information about this. Okay.
Okay.
But I'm really glad that because some people call me, Patty, and they're saying like, oh, I want something to replace the Lifeline. This is not going to replace the Lifeline. That's why I'm really glad that you're getting that. But it will augment communication and give you peace of mind.
All right. Yeah.
And like you said, he doesn't have to touch anything. He doesn't have to touch a button. He just has to say those words, and then all of a sudden you'll be there with your dad. And you know what? Let me tell you, from caregiver to caregiver, I've been there. It's a tough nut. Not tech related, and just make sure that you always take time for you. I didn't take enough time for me until after I realized, oh my gosh, I really needed to not be on duty 24/7. So just go for a walk every once in a while and get out of the house. And, you can, because you have the Alexa app on your phone, is that it'll also alert you on your phone as well. So if you are a block away, you can still get home to Dad. And you're a great daughter. If nobody told you lately, Patty, you are a great daughter. All right, look around the house, and I'm sure there are things that you never realized that actually have a shelf life and a best buy date. So let's go through this real quick. Old phones sitting in a drawer. Yeah, they can actually start a fire. Of course, we all know about Samsung phones, but it's not just a Samsung. Any gadget with a lithium-ion battery is susceptible to damage over time. So if you have a phone with a swollen battery, you need to get rid of it. Okay, that's it. Just bottom line. Outdated routers that let hackers in. Okay. The latest security standard is WPA3, and that was released back in 2018. If your router is not WPA3 compatible, you need to get rid of it and get a new one. What if you have a device that has no more updates? Yeah, that needs to go too. What about something on a recall list? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Now, what you may not know is the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, they have an email list, and so you might want to get on that. Also, any old power strips that are showing wear and tear. And there are even more things on this list you can check out by going to komando.com and hitting that Show Picks of the Week button. All right, who's up next? How about Chris in Portland, Washington?
Well, I've got, a home and a home office that's kind of separated from the home and a couple different Wi-Fi routers. And, of course, as I walk around from office to home, my phone doesn't know which one to use and usually picks the wrong one. So I'm looking at mesh, like a mesh system, a mesh Wi-Fi system. And I guess I'm just lazy. I don't want to look up and do all the details and figure out what I need.
How big's the house?
I'm talking to Kim Komando.
I'm glad you are, Chris. What size house? Yeah, what size house you have?
It's around 3,000 square feet. It's 2 stories.
Okay.
And my office is about 50 feet away on the far side of a garage from that.
Is it metal, wood, concrete?
It's wood frame.
Wood frame.
It's
okay.
wood frame.
All right. Because I'm always afraid when we start talking about networking and somebody says, I built this beautiful steel and glass modern house. I'm like, yeah, I did too. I have crappy Wi-Fi all throughout the whole thing until I did drops. And that's what we needed to do to get it through the beautiful modern steel window house, So, anything else that you're looking for with it?
Yeah, there are a couple things. I want to be able to set up separate networks for my devices and for guests and for my main people that are in the house. And then also I want some control, I guess, by MAC address as far as when a device can have access to the internet.
Yeah, you can do that. And, what's nice now is that with Mesh is that you have an app on your phone, whereas before you'd have to go to the browser, you're typing like 197.28. You were like, and then all it said was admin, or it said admin and password. You're like, oh, this looks scary to me. It's like, where am I? We're not in Kansas anymore. But now with the advent of mesh networking and an app, do you know how mesh works?
Kind of, yes.
Okay. So for everybody who doesn't know, is that whereas before you'd have Wi-Fi and then you'd have to put in a repeater and then you'd have to put in another repeater, and then you'd sit there with a heat map and go, okay, it's nothing over here, but repeater it. But with a mesh network, anything that's on the network becomes a repeater. So your phone becomes a repeater. Your TV becomes a repeater. But it doesn't mean that you still only need one little box. With your size house, anything over 2,500 feet, you're going to need at least a 3-pack. And so you get you buy a 3-pack. I'm going to send you a link to the one that I want you to look at because you said you don't want to do the research, so I did it for you. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
So TP-Link, they make a really good one, whole home mesh system. It's a 3-pack. Eero is also pretty darn good. And it has the new 6 gigahertz band. So that's really a great option to have as well. It supports up to 200 devices. That's a lot of devices. So, Chris, hang on the line, and we're going to send you a link over to this TP-Link that you can find on Amazon.com. Of course, like everything else is on Amazon. And again, thanks for your call today, Chris. Oh, we have time to squeeze in just one more call. Rose in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi there, Rose.
So I am looking for an app that will help me organize for an estate sale. There's a lot of items in the home. Some items are going to, friends and family, and there's a few museums involved. And after all of that gets distributed, I want to be able to list everything that we have for an estate sale and then possibly an auction even. And so I've been trying to find something, and I just can't seem to find anything that meets all of my needs.
How many items are we talking about, Rose?
Oh, thousands.
Oh, my gosh.
Mostly figurines, artwork, quirky things, lots of antiques, lots of jewelry, all kinds of things.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's a big job.
It's a big job. I know. I have enlisted help, but I would like to have, a photo of the item, maybe, list the name of the item or the artist.
I see. Well, you want to put all the details in there, an estimated value, things along that nature.
Right.
I'm going to tell you about a few, and then I'm going to let you decide which one, after you look at it, which one you feel is the best one.
Okay.
Because you have so much stuff, right?
Right.
It's not like we're just going to put it inside of a Google Doc or spreadsheet or anything like that in order to get it done.
And then to add photos to it would be difficult too, I thought.
Well, yeah, and you need to, then you may have an appraisal that you want to attach to it,
Oh, sure.
And so it goes on and on. I mean, I am the executor of my mother's estate. We don't have anything nearby thousands and thousands, and I'm so glad that she didn't because it's overwhelming.
It is.
It's
daunting.
Yeah, but I don't have thousands, so my heart goes out to you. Okay.
Thank you.
So the big dog out here is a product called Sortly, Sortly. You can do photos and tags. You can categorize things, and it was made first for residential use, but it's kind of gotten into business. But with you having thousands, you fall into that. You're not looking at a home inventory program here.
No.
We actually use Sortly for all of the millions of dollars of studio equipment that we have here.
Oh, okay.
So, and the folks that continually keep this updated, we do have to pay a monthly fee, but it's worth it because of everything that it allows you to do. Another one is called Asset Panda, and then the third one is called Home Manage. But I would first start with Sortly, and then look at Asset Panda, and then Home. Then I think Home Manage is what it's called.
Home Manage.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's another one, but it's called Zoho, but I don't think that's going to be it. I think you're really going to find that if you use Sortly, that might be it. It also allows you to tie into eBay, so you can see if there's what the current rate is on some of this stuff.
That's a nice feature.
Yeah, and
now,
then
can you also go onto your desktop and use it that way too, and maybe print out a spreadsheet of everything?
Totally. Yeah, it's in an app.
Okay.
You can use it on. You can print it out. You can export things. You can have different levels of users. So if you wanted, if you're the admin, you want to be able to see every single thing, but maybe you don't want somebody coming in to just to see. They only need to see a certain section.
Sure.
So we're only going to have that category accessible to that particular person.
Great.
So, so just, it's a daunting task. It is.
Right.
I mean, wow.
Absolutely.
But if you have any Van Goghs, let me know.
Okay, I will.
I'll buy them for cheap.
Sounds great.
Rose,
thank you so much.
If all of these don't work out for you, just give me a call back, email me back, and then we'll see what else we can find. But I think you might like that shortly. And again, thank you for your call. All right, let's talk about spyware. This is malicious software that works quietly in the background. It tracks every single thing that you do, all your account numbers that you type in, your usernames, your passwords, your searches, what you look at, what you do. And these are sneaky downloads, but they do leave some digital clues if you know where to look. And now, even though it doesn't have an icon for it on the desktop, you can still find out if it's running on your PC or Mac. So let's start on your PC. On your Windows PC, open the Task Manager. On your Mac, the same thing. It's called Activity Monitor. Okay, so here you're going to see all these different apps and background processes that are running. So you kind of scan through the list. Now, if you see a name that you don't recognize, just search for that name specifically online and see what turns up. But let's say that you find spyware on that list. You need to remove it, and that means you need to back up your system, really format the drive, reinstall everything. Yeah, these are not exactly fun times at all. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me. And don't forget, you can always find me 24/7 at komando.com. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim.
Thank you for listening. Here is hour 2.
I'm going to start by asking you a question. What is faster, a carrier pigeon or Wi-Fi? Just think about it. I mean, which one would be faster? I'm going to give you the answer in just a few minutes, and no cheating, okay? I can see it in your eyes if you're looking this up on Google. But let me give you a few hints. Wi-Fi, depending on the signal strength, can transmit data at the speed of light at about 187,000 miles per second. Now, we've got carrier pigeons. They're like ancient Wi-Fi, right? They hit an average of 40 miles per hour. They can race up to 400 miles. In ancient Greece, little fun fact for you, pigeons were actually used to spread the news of the Olympics. 600 also served in France during World War I. So, what's faster, pigeons or Wi-Fi? Make your best guess. And if you're watching the Kim Komando Show on the webcast and our interactive chat room's open, I want you to make your best guess right now in the chat room, and let's see who's going to be right. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kim Komando, America's Digital Goddess, here with you. It's the biggest show. It's the most trusted show, and you're about ready to get more tech smarts because, well, every single thing is now a tech thing. And if you're tuning in for the first time, a warm welcome to you. And if you're a regular, glad to see you back. And you can find my show streaming across 425 different stations here in the United States. And you can also find us as a podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Komando with a K. And a special shout out goes to all of our listeners in the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force in 175 different countries. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. I'm sure you have at least, I don't know, one or two questions about something digital. And I need two things from you, just two things. Number one is I want you to tell one person about the Kim Komando Show and podcast, just one person. And number two is I want to hear from you. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you want to hear more of. Head over to komando.com and hit that link that says email Kim. It's my labor of love. Every single day I go to at least 35, sometimes 40 different websites to make sure that we are both up to date on all things digital. Here are the top 5 things you need to know right now. And I first heard the phrase, I don't know, probably 15 years ago. I'm talking about cutting the cable, right? And today we're still cutting, but it doesn't seem like we're saving money anymore, right? Well, first of all, nobody really cuts the cable because you still need the internet cable to get your streaming services. Now, most streaming services cost twice as much as they did when they first hit the market. Oh, yeah, I know. ESPN Plus has jacked up its price by a whopping 120% since it launched 5 years ago. Apple TV raised its monthly rate from $7 to $10. Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, they have all raised their prices within the last 5 weeks. So to get all of the top movies and programs, you're going to pay more for streaming than you ever did with cable. So here's what you need to do. Get down on your kitchen counter and start figuring out how much you're paying per month. And you may find that calling up your cable company is actually cheaper than what you're paying in streaming, but you may not get all the shows that you've come to love from the streaming services. But you can also check out free things like Canopy, that's with a K. That's where you can get a lot of films with your library card. Popcorn gives you free mainstream movies in exchange for ads. And by the way, we have a whole list of these over at komando.com. Just type in free streaming in the search box and it'll pop right up for you. Number 2 is something that really shocked me. It's a number 100%. A study from the National Association of Realtors finds that 100% of people shop for homes online. Wow, 100%. So now the question is, why do we need a real estate agent or broker? Okay, and why are we paying these broker fees? They hang around 5 to 6% of your home selling price. And if you do the math, the house is $500,000, $25,000, $30,000 right out the door for commissions. With online listings, you can do a lot of this yourselves. Over half of recent buyers found their homes online. They looked at all the photos, the videos, the tax histories, no middleman, no extra fees. Now, I know a lot of folks are listening right now saying, Kim, I'm a real estate agent. I provide a valuable service. I'm predicting that we are going to see a reduction in real estate commissions coming down in 2024 in a big way, because let's just face it. Here's what happens. We go online, we find a house, we call the realtor and say, we want to go look at this house, or we go to the Zillow.com or wherever it is, and then we fill out a form and says, I want to go look at this house. Not a lot of homework, but where the real estate agent and broker, where they do come in handy is the negotiations, right? If they're a good negotiator, if they're working for you, you can save some money. But I don't think the days of 5 and 6%, they're going to be here forever, or much longer rather. Moving in for number 3, watching videos in the car. That's right. More people are watching videos on their phones while driving. And guess what? It's perfectly legal. In Kentucky, for example, you can legally watch YouTube or any video while you're driving. The law there says, though, you can't text and drive, but it doesn't say anything about streaming videos or scrolling through Instagram. A study by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety just found out that 25% of drivers, that's 1 in 4, admitted to watching videos or movies while driving in the last month. 15% say, I do this all the time. Okay. Now, in most states, there are laws where you can't have screens in your line of sight while you're driving, but the laws are vague. States like New York and New Jersey, they're talking about TV broadcasts, not stuff like TikTok videos or FaceTime or internet videos or whatever it may be. So texting is a no-go by law, but the gray zone is this video streaming. Talk about distracted driving. Just don't watch the videos, okay? Moving in for number 4, payment apps are a prime target for crooks. We're talking about these peer-to-peer payment apps. If you've ever used Zelle, which is owned by JP Morgan, Chase, Bank of America, and other banks, were a victim of a scam, too bad, right? The bank says, not my problem. They say you authorized the payment. In 2021 alone, Listen to this number. Zelle users lost $440 million in fraud. So this week, over 2,000 banks finally handing out refunds to Zelle fraud victims under government pressure, of course. So if you lost any money with Zelle in the past, now's the time for you to file that report and maybe you can get that money back. And finally, this coming at number 5. Are we dating the same guy? Okay, you're talking to this really handsome guy online and you decide to go on a date, but how do you know he's not dating other people? Maybe he's already married. So welcome to Facebook. We have groups for that. Are we dating the same guy? There are over 120 such Facebook groups around the country where women are sharing red flags with the guys that they're going out with. They post about these guys' secrets, or maybe they're married or they have a sketchy past. And it started in places like New York City. But get this, St. Louis group, 50,000 members. Phoenix, 32,000 members. Now, there are a few rules. No telling the guys that they're being posted about. You can only share a photo rather than a first name. Okay, what a world. Let me tell you something. If you've got a post in a Facebook group, whether or not this guy is shady or not, PSA, you should not be going out with him. All right, the answer to that question, the pigeon or Wi-Fi. As it turns out, with a tailwind, these speedy birds have been clocked at speeds up to 110 miles per hour, and they can travel 1,000 miles. And in parts of rural America, where internet speeds are just slow, a pigeon might be your best bet. So there's a little fun fact story you can share around the holidays with your friends. People go look at you and go, you are so smart. And then that's when you can go, I listen to Kim Komando. That's why. Have you ever faced a moment that completely changed your life, the direction of where you're going? Well, that's what happened to Billy Smith. And he's joining us today because back in 2020, wow, after a heart attack and a triple bypass surgery, he found himself at a major crossroad. He could hardly walk, but he made a big decision. He wanted to become, of all things, a marathon runner. So Billy got himself an Apple Watch, and guess what? His life has totally transformed. And if you want to get back into shape, you have to listen to this. Billy, first of all, congratulations on turning your life around. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So take us back to the start, though. What sort of health issues were you having prior to the heart attack?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I was just very sedentary lifestyle. I had type 2 diabetes. My cholesterol was ridiculous. Triglycerides were unreadable. Going back to the diabetes, it was like A1C was 10.5. The weight was out of control. I just didn't have a lot of, had zero exercise. I mean, watched a lot of TV. That's kind of what I had going on.
Well, sometimes when you're not feeling well and you're overweight, it's hard to get motivated to get off the couch because it's not the easiest thing to do.
No, definitely not. No, I didn't have, I felt tired all the time. I mean, that's what my kids are like, Dad, you always say you're tired. And I'm like, and I wasn't doing anything to be tired other than just overeating and not exercising.
So what happened inside of you that said, okay, I need to get my butt off the couch and I need to at least start walking a block, at least something?
Right. No. So literally I was still in the critical care unit of the heart hospital. And I have no idea why to this day, but I decided, hey, I'm going to run a 5K. That's what I started with. I'm going to run a 5K. And I Googled 5K after CABG, the type of surgery I had. And I found this guy and kind of just followed his story a little bit. And I was like, man, I'm going to do that. Meanwhile, I couldn't get out of the bed and walk 5 feet. So I would walk around the house. I walked to the mailbox one day, and then I eventually decided, hey, I'm going to try to make it around the block. And then we'd do 2 blocks, me and the whole family. And then I kind of just kept walking.
So you did the 5K. How many months after surgery?
So the surgery was March 4th, 2020. I ran the 5K in October of that year. So it went by pretty fast.
You know what? That's impressive. Seriously.
Yeah.
That you went from 0 to a 5K because, I ran this morning. I've been a runner for many, many years. I've done marathons and they're not easy. They're tough. Anybody who says they're just skating through, they're lying to you.
So now how are you using the Apple Watch? So yeah, the Apple Watch. That's when I first bought it, it was really just I'm going to watch my heart rate. So now I used it to. I ended up loading a Couch to 5K thing was how I first got started, and my watch would tell me when to run and when to walk. And I like the sleep data now. I can see how long I slept and how the REM sleep, deep sleep, all the just the crazy data that it will give you.
And then what about your weight and your other vitals, your cholesterol and triglycerides and things like that?
Yeah. I just had a report just 2-3 weeks ago that I haven't taken diabetic medication in probably over 2 years now after the exercise and things. But triglycerides, cholesterol, everything is where it's supposed to be. Everything's in range. A1C is in a 5 where it should be. Everything looks good. The good cholesterol could be a little better. We're going to work on that. So
it's the Mediterranean diet. That's all.
Yeah, and I'm a foodie. That's the thing. And so, living in Oklahoma, we like our chicken fried steaks, and so I got to limit that stuff. And I never really cut everything out of my diet. However, I lower plate size and what I'm actually, I did eat less fried foods and got rid of, some of the sugars at the time. And the more you run, the more sugar you can have, by the way. So anyway.
Yeah, which is true. I'm totally there. What advice would you give someone who may be facing a similar health crisis, or they're starting their journey of change and maybe even saying, you know what, January 1st, I'm going to start?
Yeah, I'd say start tomorrow. Don't wait. January 1st. Yeah, great. Those come and go really quick. Get off the couch and go tomorrow. Go walk around the block. Go walk for 20 minutes. Do that. The watch helped me, motivate me and kept me going and wanted to compete with friends. But ultimately, I just had to get up and do the work on my own and get after it.
So have you set any goals you want to do, like the marathon in San Diego or New York or someplace like that?
Come January, we ran a lot of half marathons at the end of this year, September, October, November, and we have another one in December. But in January, we're going to turn around and start full marathon training again to run Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon in April. I just know that I can do better than I did last time, so that's the goal, is to just do better.
Well, you know what, Billy? I have a feeling you're going to do it. Okay. I know you're going to do it because, what you've done over the last, 3.5 years is really nothing short of phenomenal. 100%. And I'm very proud of you. And I'm so glad that you decided to come on and tell us your story, because I know that you've helped more than a handful of people, more than 24 people who are listening right now saying, you know what? I got to get my butt off the couch too. You just get out there and like you said, you know what? Start small. Go to the mailbox. Yeah. Go around the block.
Exactly. It's a great feeling too. Once you turn that around, you don't mind parking a little further away from at the grocery store. That's a good way to get exercise too. Park further away. Don't wait for that closer spot or whatever. But,
you take the steps instead of taking the elevator. You think where you can walk. I'm a big walker and runner. I probably am logging 25, 30 miles a week, and it's really great for your mind too, folks. So if you are sitting on the couch, you're saying, I can't do this. You know what? I'm saying that you can, and just get out there and get started. Billy, thanks for joining us. If you're going to be traveling between now and the end of the year, I want to make sure that you get your official airlines app, because here's the deal. Not only do you get automatic notifications about gate changes and delays and all that other bad stuff, but there are now ways that they can track your luggage. Yes, that's right. They're going to actually be tracking their luggage. Now, should you be using the app to track your luggage? Sure, why not? It's absolutely free. But I would also throw in an Apple AirTag or a Tile Tracker if you're on Team Android, by the way. just in case they lose the tracking within the app or anything like that. Again, an Apple AirTag if you're on the Apple ecosystem, or if you're on Team Android, you want to get a Tile tracker. And before we get back to all of your phone calls, let's talk about bad Wi-Fi. You're on a video call, but the Wi-Fi coverage is garbage in your house. The video freezes and lags. Oh, man, I just hate when that happens. You've done everything, but your Wi-Fi is still slow as molasses, and it just keeps disconnecting. So what can you try? I want you to try to change the channel on your router. See, wireless routers broadcast their signal on different channels, and sometimes other devices nearby can interfere with that signal. And that will cause you to drop a connection, or for the speeds just to slow down to a halt. So by changing the channel, you can sometimes find, not all the time, but sometimes find a less crowded frequency that will give you a better signal. So to do this, you log into your router, you head into the settings menu. You're going to find the wireless channel option, then just choose a different channel and save it. And then test your Wi-Fi to see if it has improved. But if it doesn't work, you may need to upgrade your router, or I know you get a Wi-Fi extender. But if your home is bigger than, say, 2,000 feet, that's when you really want to start looking at a mesh system. And if you need help deciding which mesh system to get, head over to Komando.com and take the router quiz. Again, Komando.com, and we have a router quiz. Bill in Louisville, Kentucky. Hi there, Bill.
Well, my wife recently, I'm trying to get through this without crying here for you, but my wife recently died. Passed away about 3 weeks ago tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
We've been married for 44 years. So
that's got to be a complete nightmare for you.
It's been rough, but I know I've always listened to my wife and my grandkids would always talk to the Google Assist things that we have, and they would carry on conversations and things with it and ask questions and joke. I was wondering, with all the AI information things going on, is there any way for me to put my wife's voice on the Google Assist or on my Waze apps or my GPS apps?
Waze does. You can have some custom voice directions. It depends how much of your voice. So what we're going to have to do is get a sampling of your wife's voice. The longer, the better. And then we duplicate her voice, and then you could use her voice as the navigation prompts, but you'd actually have to type out what the navigation prompts would say and then put them into Waze. So you'd use a program like Overdub and feed in as much audio that you can of your wife. And then you'd be able to type out what you'd like her to say, the AI version of her, obviously, the AI voice. And then you could have it as a custom voice directions in Waze and other things. But can I talk to you? Can we get off the tech train for just a sec?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know if this is a healthy thing to do.
Well, I call her phone every night and talk to her so I can hear her voice on the voicemail. So, which is,
and I think that's wonderful, and I really do. But I'm not going to get all religious with you, but there's a phrase in the Psalms that says, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Okay. Do you notice what it says, Bill? You know what it says? It doesn't say that you can walk around it. It doesn't say you're going to jump over it. You walk through the valley of the shadow of death. You have to go through it. And my concern is that we're going to duplicate her voice, we're going to clone her voice, and then we're going to put her in Waze so she can get directions. And, and I think it's fabulous that you have voice recordings and messages of your wife, and you can play them whenever you want to hear her voice, which is just wonderful. You could set a recording of her voice as a ringtone, an alarm, a notification sound. You could get a digital photo frame where you could pair pictures of her with her voice recordings. And I would prefer, I think that would be healthier than trying to replicate her voice so you could have a full conversation with her. And I know that it hurts. I mean, we've all lost people. I have not thank God, lost somebody who I was married to and built a life with for 44 years. And I can't imagine that pain that you're going through. And hearing her voice probably does seem very comforting. But,
Yes.
but there's going to be a point where that's delaying you from, I would believe, and I'm not a psychologist, from healing and going to the next step, the next level. It may be holding you back from enjoying what life that you have left with your children and your grandchildren, because everything is now in the past. She would not want you to do that. Would she?
No. So maybe the picture frame thing would be better.
I think the picture frame is something that would be nice. And then the other thing too you could do, Bill?
Yes.
You could share this frame with everybody in the family. And you could tell them, you know what? I'd like you to send some pictures of Nana. And if you have any audio, send that too. And so that every time you walk by, you see a new picture of her. And if there's some audio, you might hear her. And you can, a couple of times it might hurt, but the next time it will be comforting. And you'll be like, wow, you know what? I'm going to be with her soon. I know it. I know I'm going to be with her soon. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Then have faith. And let's get a digital photo frame. There's one by the name of Aura, A-U-R-A.
Okay.
I'll send you out a link to the one that I like. And
thank you.
And what I like about this is that you can have everybody in the family send their photos, send their audio recordings, and so you have this wonderful place when you want to sit with your wife and reminisce over old times, or look at a photo and remember how and what was going on at that particular time in your lives. And if there's anything that I can further help you with, Bill, I'm always here for you. I am. And just feel free to reach out, okay? And thanks for your call. Ooh, what a phone call. All right, let's switch gears. All right, this is really interesting. A UK-based consumer research group by the name of Which, they compared the average prices of thousands of hotels with 300,000 Airbnb and Vrbo listings. They also looked at 50 locations. Oh my gosh. What did they find? What was the bottom line? On average, hotels were less expensive 75% of the time. Wow. But a lot of this depends on where you're going. In Amsterdam, the hotel was actually $83 higher. Singapore, $75 higher. Dubai, $70 higher. San Francisco, $44 higher. So what can you do to get the best deal on a hotel? Okay, you can actually show up at the hotel after 4 p.m. because that's when the hotels know that, we better book this room quick or nobody's going to get here. I always ask for a free upgrade, whether it's a room or breakfast. I always also ask which room gets requested the most, which room is not by an elevator. And sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes if I'm going to be staying there for a long time, say 5 days or more, I'll actually slip the person there who's checking me in $20. Tell you, every single time I get a really, really good room. Really, really good room. That little $20, it does help. All right, Barbara in Orlando, Florida.
First, I want to tell you I have been a fan forever. And you have helped me with so many things throughout my life that, you wouldn't believe it, but I'm first in getting the updates from Apple because of you.
Oh, awesome!
So I get them the day that they're issued.
Excellent.
So what I have a question about is I'm in a very small community. It's 71 homes, and we just had our last annual meeting, and the subject came up about some type of way that everybody can get on, like a bulletin board type thing, and share information about the community, if there's a problem or, something that needs to be handled. And we talked about things like Google, which not everybody has Gmail. I'm one of them. And we talked about Teams, but we felt like that might not be that might not be the right way. And Zoom, I don't know a thing about Zoom because I'm retired, so I have been working with that type of programs.
Yeah, but you don't need. You know what? You don't need that. That's overkill. Okay, is to set up Zoom calls every time somebody wants to talk. Maybe set up quarterly Zoom call updates, but that's just basically video calls. Super easy to use, not a big deal. What you're looking for is a communication between the 71 homeowners, right?
Right. Well, there's some that are actually absent owners. They're people that own it.
Okay, well, but we're still looking at 71 folks.
Right.
Okay. All right, so we have 71 people that want to be able to say yay or nay or voice their opinion on whether or not John needs to move his tree or Sally put her satellite dish in the view of Bobby's, flamingos there in Orlando. I mean, listen, I've been part of an HOA. I have. And I swear I'd never do it again, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay. So you got a couple of options. One is Facebook groups. Okay. Everybody can have a Facebook account. And so you set up a private group on Facebook, and then people have to go onto Facebook and they have to say that they want to be part of the group, and then you approve them or whoever's in charge of it. And in this Facebook group that's where you can put things that are going on, updates, communication, when the road's getting paved, the mail lady was going on vacation, kids are too loud on Sundays at 3 p.m. and why are you playing ball on the grass? Okay.
Right.
That's a personal experience of mine, is that I was playing ball on the grass with my son, and I got a notification the next day that said that I was too loud on the grass with my son playing ball.
Oh my gosh! No, we're not that strict.
Oh, well, I know. I called it. So I saw all the rules and I said, why don't you just put like a rule? It's like no fun zone. This is the no fun zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, with Facebook groups, you have that. So that would be my first choice. Second choice is you look at an app and a website called Nextdoor. Nextdoor, just like it sounds. This allows folks in the same area, again, to share news, discuss community member matters. Again, it's available via the web or as an app. But I think, with everybody being on Facebook, that would probably be the easiest way. And so what you're going to do is set up a private Facebook group, and then people will have to go to this group, and then the admin says yes or no. And then you have this cohesive thing that nobody on the internet else can see unless they're in that group. And it really does help because, again, Facebook is out there, and I know a lot of people don't like Facebook, but let's just face it, no pun intended, is that it's really easy to set up these type of things on a Facebook group. And Barb, you need any help afterwards? I'm always here for you. Let's see, John in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Well, it used to be you get a lot of emails, and I've learned how to control those, but I'm getting more and more text messages, political mostly. Today I got one from an insurance company that wanted me to get a flu shot, and I chose no, and then they wanted to know why, and then I told them, and then they wanted to say thanks. Is there something out there other than texting stop on each one to just control how many I'm going to get or which ones?
So you mean that do not call registry from the government is not working for you? Oh my gosh. I know. It doesn't work for anybody. Okay. All the spam and the text still comes through. And in case any of our listeners are saying like, what was that? Is that you can just go over to donotcall.gov and put your phone number on the list, but it's not going to stop anything. They can still get through. What kind of phone do you have?
An iPhone.
So on your iPhone, under settings and messages, is you can go, right now there's message filtering, and you can enable filter unknown senders. And then that's going to go into a special folder under your text messages. Now, if you're on Team Android, just for all of our listeners, it varies by make and model, but typically it's going to be in the message app settings. Now, if that does not work for you, John, inside the whole filter unknown senders, is that there are certainly third-party apps that you can get from your cell phone provider. Take a look at that, because all of them are now providing free apps that will limit the spam text from getting through, as well as the spam phone calls. And then you can also take a look at some third-party programs like Truecaller or RoboKiller. I think is another one. Another one's called Hiya. We have a lot of information about this over on the website. Now, one of the things that you can do is when you start getting all these spam text messages, and keep in mind, if it's political, there's some fine lines there that let the politicians get through. Isn't that a coinky-dinky? But anyway, you can report your spam text to your carrier by forwarding the message to spam, which is 7726 on your phone. So if you get a spam text message, you want to report it to your carrier, just go ahead and forward that. Again, that number is 7726, which spells out spam. If you need more information about these third-party programs, as well as any type of apps that your particular carrier may have, just head over to the website, komando.com, and search for, say, killing spam texts or spam text messages. And I'm sure a tip or two is going to pop right up for you, free for the taking. And John, thank you for your call. Spam text messages, so annoying, right? All right, your web browser does let you surf in secret. It's called incognito mode in Chrome. Safari, Firefox, private browsing, and Edge, it's called private. You know, everything looks and works the same with just a few exceptions. It's not going to save your history, your cookies, or anything that you type into forms. Whatever you look for is wiped off your system as soon as you close the browser. And it keeps all those autofill suggestions clean. Any website that you visit, well, poof, they'll just vanish. But don't think for a moment that these incognito private modes are 100% private. Your ISP still sees everything. If you're doing this at work, they know everything that's going on. I mean, so it's not really private, but it is kind of almost semi-private. Hey, thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. You can find me 24/7 at komando.com.
Here is hour 3.
All right, I'd like to kick things off with something fun. If you've got a Gmail account that you haven't touched in ages, it's time for you to show it a little love, okay? You want to log in, send an email, watch a YouTube video, whatever it is. Because if you're not using your Google account, come December 1st, poof, into the intergalactic bit bucket it goes. Google's going to get rid of it because they say, hey, listen, you know what? If you're not using it, you're going to lose it. Hey, listen, on that happy note, you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. I'm, of course, Kim Komando, America's Digital Goddess, here with you. It's the biggest show. It's the best show. In my humble opinion, of course, it's the most trusted show. And if it's your first time tuning in, a huge welcome to you and to our returning listeners. It's always great to see your happy faces with us. And you can find my award-winning show on over 425 top stations throughout the United States. And you can find me as a podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Komando with a K, and you're going to get Kim Komando today. And a special hello goes out to our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force in 175 different countries. And we're listening right now on the American Forces Network Radio. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And I need 2 things from every single one of you who are listening right now. Number 1, tell one person. That's right. Just tell one person on your social, in person, whatever it may be. I don't know. Go stand on the corner with a sign. Just one person about Kim Komando Today as a podcast and the Kim Komando Show. And number 2 is give me some feedback. Tell me what you'd like to hear more of. Head over to komando.com. Hit that link that says email Kim. Alrighty, every single day you can count on me to check at least 35 to 40 different websites. And here are the top 5 things you need to know that's happening in tech right now. And we're going to role play for just a moment. Say you're the boss. One of your team members comes in and says, can you spare 15 minutes for some advice? Or what if they say, can you spare 15 minutes for some advice? This is so important to my career and my life. I would just really, really appreciate it. Okay, pretty similar, but probably the second one is going to go, all right, I can give you 15 minutes. Now, this emotional language trick actually works with AI too. Oh my gosh. Researchers found that adding emotional phrases to prompts made artificial intelligence responses better by about 10% in performance, truthfulness, and responsibility. I actually tried this out myself this past week. I said, because I have to write a trivia question every day. And so ChatGPT, it kind of gives me some ideas, but I can never just have it totally just do it by itself. So this past week I went in and I said, give me a trivia question that's human interest with 4 answers, 1 real answer. And I want you to use your smarts and I want you to make it a question that people want to pass along. And I think you could do this because you have it. Let me tell you, giving AI a little positive sandwich actually worked. I was really amazed. So the next time you're using ChatGPT or something like that, try adding some phrases like, this is really important to me. I value your response. Don't make me look like a fool by giving a stupid, wrong answer. You know what? It does work. Moving on to number 2, let's talk about AI and the weatherman. Oh, another job is about ready to bite the dust. You ready? Meteorologists. That's right. There's new software developed by an AI company, DeepMind, called GraphCast. And it can predict the weather over 10 days in less than 60 seconds. Wow. It can also predict extreme weather events without even being trained to find them. Some that are difficult. We're talking about hurricanes. It predicted the landfall of Hurricane Lee in Long Island 10 days before it happened. Traditional tech meteorologists all fell behind. Wow, 10 days before it happened. Scientists have found that the GraphCast gets the forecast right, drum roll please, 90% of the time. It works like this. It takes the 2 most recent states of the entire Earth's weather. Using that data, it can predict what the weather will be like in 6 hours or less, depending on if you just want a city. Oh my gosh, the whole world in 6 hours. Moving on to number 3, Amazon has a new security robot. So cute. Astro for businesses. It roves around your business looking for trouble with its HD camera and night vision. Offers a 24/7 live view, two-way talk, sends you alerts if there's a bad person in the building. Basically, it's Alexa on wheels. Costs $100 a month, and it'll contact the Ring Rapid Response Team, sees anything suspicious. I have to tell you something. This is like this Astro robot that they have for your house. I actually purchased one, and I was super excited. I was on like that invite list, and I spent $1,500 to get this robot. And then it got delivered, and it sat in the foyer of my house for about a week before Barry said, so what are you going to do with it? And I said, oh man, it just kind of creeps me out that I'm going to be having a robot go all around our house, taking videos and mapping out the house for who knows who to hack and to have. So I just put a return label on it and sent it right out. So before you buy one of these roving Amazon robots for your business or house, just consider that. This is some good news coming in at number 4. A year ago, Apple launched the emergency SOS on the iPhone 14. So many cases. People surviving car crashes, getting lost in the woods. This past week, a man and his buddy were on a road trip taking photos at Banff National Park in Canada. It started snowing. Their car started drifting out of control, flipped over. They were stuck, and there was no cell phone service, but the guy remembered his iPhone had emergency SOS. Within 10 minutes, they called emergency services. So Apple is doing iPhone 14 users a solid, extending the free trial for yet another year. It already has a 2-year trial, so this lets Apple avoid saying how much they're going to be charging for it at some point. And finally, this coming out at number 5. It's a crazy story. You know how trail cams work. You set them up in the woods. They snap pictures of any movement, bear, tigers, whatever it may be, and then sends the images back to you. Well, in Texas, the Del Rio Police Department decided to use one of these trail cams to spot what they were saying was illegal dumping. But this guy, let's just call him Mr. Buffoon Burglar, he decides to steal the camera from the Del Rio Police Department. He takes it home, wait for it, he sets it up in his bedroom. Okay. Remember, these cameras are designed to capture activity, send it back to the source. And they did get the activity. A shirtless guy in his bed with a woman, tattoos all over him. One tattoo showed his last name, Martinez. Needless to say, he was identified, brought in, and talk about stupid. All right. Oh, we have an old friend back on our show. Let me tell you all about him. Did you ever think that you wanted to be a social media influencer? But you say, oh, I can't do that. That's for like Gen Zers and millennials. I mean, how could I ever do that on TikTok? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you're here because we are going to be talking to Steve Austin, better known as Old Man Steve. And he has a massive TikTok following, almost 2 million folks. And let me tell you, Steve, you know, he is young at heart. He's an 85-year-old man who has figured out that TikTok is more about just simple joys. And he shows things like whipping up his oatmeal or making sandwiches. And he's part of this awesome trend that's called Grandfluencers. These are older folks that are absolutely dominating on social media. Steve, thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be anywhere.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. So why do you think people love your TikToks?
Gosh, that's a good question. I've tried to figure that out. As you said, most people on TikTok, I would think, are young people. And they've referred to me as Grandpa Steve sometimes. And a lot of my fans want me to be their grandpa, or I remind them of their grandpa. So I don't know if it's, I just can't figure it out. It just happened all so fast, and I'm having so much fun with it. It gets me up in the morning, I'll tell you the truth, because I look forward to interacting with my fans and getting suggestions from them as to what I can do.
So when they approach you as a grandfatherly figure, do they ask you for help and advice?
A few have. Most of them just, I not only get requests from young people, but I get their parents who say that they enjoy me and their kids watching me because I'm so wholesome, and everything I do is G-rated. I don't go away from that, and so I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but it makes me feel good, and I hope that it makes my fans feel good.
So how many videos are you putting out a week, do you think?
Oh, I do one every day. I used to do a couple, maybe 3 a day. I'm down to maybe 1 a day now, except on the weekends I try to do more because I figure that people are around more on the weekends.
What has been your most successful video?
Well, my cooking videos, and actually I don't cook. I'll make a bowl of cereal and call that Cooking with Old Man Steve, or I'll make a peanut butter sandwich. And for some reason, people love that. My second, in fact, that's how I was on the Rachel Ray show, because she heard about my cooking videos. And that was a real treat to do that, because she got a kick out of it because she knows that I'm not a cook. I do a thing called Magic Saturday with Steve, where I try to do a magic trick, but I always can't do it or mess it up or something, and that's a lot of fun, and I get a lot of views on those sort of things. But I also just sit and have a cup of coffee and eat a cookie and just wish my fans good morning and hope they have a good day. And I always tell them to be kind to themselves and be kind to other people.
Well, that's good advice at any age, really. And so let me ask you a question. Are you making any money at this?
I've made a few bucks here and there, but that's very misleading. People think that because you're on social media that you're probably making a lot of money. And I'm sure a lot of people are, but I think you have to get millions and millions of followers constantly in order to be in that bracket. I have gotten some money from doing some videos, but it's not a lot of money. I've gotten products. On one of my videos, I talked about my back hurting, and I thought I'd probably need to get a new mattress. And a couple of weeks later, I get an email from a mattress company saying they'll send me a mattress if I do an unboxing. So there's that. I got a free mattress.
You know what? So, that's good, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's good. That's great. Especially for a senior like myself who lives on a fixed income. Product endorsements. Even though I don't get paid, I may get some merchandise. So that's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to that. And I don't endorse just anything. I do have my standards.
Well, of course, we all have our standards. Now, so what's your take on anybody who's listening right now, who's an older adult, and they're saying, okay, yeah, but Steve could figure that out. It's something like I could never do.
Well, everything that I've done, I'm self-taught. As far as my equipment is cameras and lighting and all that. There's something you can learn, and there's so many things that you can access on the internet to teach you. I say if you have a hankering to do what I do or similar to what I do, to give it a try. Have some fun with it. Don't be too serious. I've always, I think, all my life been a frustrated actor, but I never did anything because I didn't think I could. And now starting in the age of 80 and on up, here I am. People say, well, you're an actor now. And I said, well, I don't think of it that way. I just think I'm just being myself and just doing what I do and enjoying it. And if you enjoy it, watch it. If you don't. That's my philosophy. Well, you can always change the channel.
That's true. You can always do something else or watch something else. There's always 100 million other things to see on TikTok. Well, Old Man Steve, you're fabulous. Thank you for being here. And for anybody who's listening, you ought to check him out. You're at Old Man Steve, right?
Right. And thank you. I enjoy it, and I enjoyed being on your show, Kim.
Oh,
good to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Yeah, it's been a couple of years. I'm glad to see you still up and about.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yes, Old Man Steve. Super cute. Super great guy. All right, let's talk about police scanners. In case you ever want to put one of these apps on your phone, here are some to check out. 50 Radio Police Scanner. It's free, and it lets you listen to local as well as international radio frequencies. You can also look up police short codes within the app. Another one that's really popular is Police Scanner Plus. It has over 40,000 different stations to listen to, and again, free is the word. Plus, you can record what's happening on a station for playback later. And then finally, there's iScan, letter iScan. And it lets you to listen to police radios from all around the world, has a map to view the location of the police calls, and lets you create custom feeds too. If you need links to any of these, just hit Komando.com and then type in police scanners. All right, joining us here on the Kim Komando Show is our very own amazing content queen, Ali Seligman. Hi there, Al.
Hi, Kim.
So we're going to be talking about using tech around the holidays.
We are indeed.
You know, one of the things that we did years ago is that we recorded my mom telling everybody how you make a turkey.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's so great. And so now in like our group chat, I clipped out where she was saying, in her New York accent, just take the butter and put the butter all on the inside and on the outside, and just a lot of butter. And don't. And then she actually said, and don't have Kim do this because she won't use butter. She's going to use olive oil, but we need butter.
I was just going to ask, do you follow her recipe? Do you use the butter?
I don't use the butter.
Oh, Kim, the butter.
The butter. On. I know. That's that whole Brooklyn thing that's going on. So tell us what's first on your list.
Yeah, you're going to be happy because I'm not going to tell you how to control the lights, what to do with Alexa. We're going for new stuff here. This is one that I implemented last year, a digital cookbook. Okay. How annoying is it when maybe you're trying new recipes and you're like, oh, let me find the tab, or, oh, it's on my phone, and everything is everywhere, right? So I found all the recipes I wanted to cook. I took screenshots of them on my iPad, and then I could just swipe through and have all of them right there in the same place. You don't have to find all your cookbooks. You don't have to find all the tabs and all that stuff. So,
where are you saving them, like in the Notes app, or where?
Yep, the Notes app works well. You can also do this. Just save them all and make a PDF out of them and open it as one document. There are lots of different options. We'll throw all those on the website if you are like, Allie, I don't know how to do this. But it is really helpful just to have one place, right?
Yeah, well, that is a problem because, when you go to look for a recipe online, I'm guilty of this too. Because, it's like, okay, I go to Food Network, I go to All Recipes, and then like the Pioneer Woman will pop up. And I'm like, okay, where did she? And then you have like the bloggers that will tell you like, I always loved my grandma's chocolate chip cookies and they're the best chocolate chip cookies. And you're like, I just want the recipe.
Yes. And you should definitely go to Print Friendly. If you want just the recipe, you can use that there. You can look at the reader mode. There's a print mode on most recipe websites. So that's the version you want to save, right? Not the one with all the pictures and the stories and the...
No, so annoying.
You don't need that junk.
So annoying.
and a good thing to do with your iPad if you're using a tablet. Don't just set it on the counter, because I don't know about you, I'm a little bit messy, especially when I have 8 different things going. So a cookbook holder is actually a really good way to do that, or they're, $10 options on Amazon.
You got it. All right, so what do you got next?
Do you send holiday cards?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I know. And there's I have a friend of mine, and she sends them every year.
And they're perfect.
Oh my God, they're so perfect. And it's like the front page and the second page. And it's like, so here's what's happening with us.
Oh, it's a full letter.
Oh, and then it's like, no, but there's all pictures throughout. Okay, and here's what child number 1 is doing, and they're so wonderful. And child number 2 is so great. And child number 3 is amazing. And child number 4 is out of jail. And you're like,
I have a feeling I know who this family is.
Yes.
But alas, yeah, me neither. I can't get it together to take photos, pick a card, print it, put everyone's addresses. Absolutely not. Why don't you do it digitally this year? I'm giving you permission. If you are looking at the clock saying, oh no, I still haven't mailed these things, that's fine. Just do it on the internet. There are all kinds of places. You can do it on Canva, Adobe Express, Paperless Post is a good one. You pick your cute little template, put in a note, you can put in photos of your family, whatever you want, and then great, just email it and you won't be late.
Or you know what else you could do? Is that if you've got a lot of people on your list, okay, is that you can go over to like MailChimp and use one of their templates.
Oh, look at that. A whole fancy email.
And just slap that in there, okay? and you're just like hit send and you're like, bah,
you
done.
would send a Christmas newsletter. Of course you would.
Of course I would,
I love that. Yeah. All right, so no more guilt, right? You don't have to buy stamps, so you're welcome.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want to buy. Well, although Forever stamps, I always feel like I got to deal with that, because whenever I go to Costco and I buy the Forever stamps, and then like maybe 2 months later they go up in price. I'm like, yes, that was good.
I saved 3 cents.
Yes,
Amazing.
I'm ready. All right. So what do you got?
This is the time of year when we all take a lot of pictures. I think about, big family holiday gatherings of years past, and you had to find the weird family friend to take the picture, like somebody who you wouldn't be that sad if they weren't in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Bummer for that person. It's very obvious, like, Dave, you're going to have to take this.
Because we don't really know you. We don't even know why you're here. But
we enjoyed your company. But yeah, you don't have to do that anymore, because there's a timer built into your phone. And I promise you're going to be able to set up your phone better to take the picture than Dave could anyway. He's probably just going to make everybody look not so good, right? So go into the settings on your camera app and you can choose 3, 5, 10 are the usual choices. I always set mine to 10 seconds if it's a big group, because you want to give people time. You'll see a little countdown on the screen, or just tell people, hey, hold your smile, 10 seconds, and then it'll take the picture.
Okay, but I was so tempted to buy a Pixel phone just because they have that feature.
It's so cool.
Yes, tell everybody about it.
So essentially you take a bunch of group photos. Let's say you take 4 different photos. It's me, Kim, Andrew, and Wayne. And we all have a really good face in separate pictures. So in one picture, Kim's got her eyes closed. Well, we don't use that one. We take the good face from every person, every picture, and it stitches them together so everyone looks perfect. It's crazy.
I was thinking like that about, 15 years ago, we had a big family reunion.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's, 35, 40 people in the shot. Okay. And of course I was in the first row because it was happening at my house.
Okay.
And I was the one like organized it. So I was in the first row. And then I have to tell you, it was bad for a lot of people, because I picked the picture like I looked the best in.
Well, of course. And that is your prerogative as the person who, arranged for the photos. But yeah, that is a really nice way to have everyone look good in the photos. It can also help too if you decide, you know what, we're going to have Dave take the picture. That's fine. Have Dave use burst mode. So instead of just taking one picture, hold down the shutter button and then you'll take a ton. And you're more likely to get more people looking good than, if he takes 1 or 2 pictures.
Now that you're talking about that, and about Dave taking the picture, is that I have a nephew who's like the girls were like on a carousel. It was like new girl. I was like, so who are you dating this week? Who are you dating this week? Okay. So I had her take a few pictures too, because I didn't want to be like, okay, so you're not going to be here like in 2 months. Okay. So one of those things.
Yeah, she knew though. She knew.
Did.
Yeah. And finally, Okay, think about your holiday gathering, and then there are those people sitting around staring at their phones the entire time.
Oh, you know what? I hate that.
I know. I hate that too. And we want to help those people. If you are that person because you just can't stop checking your Instagram to see what everybody's eating on Thanksgiving or whatever it is, go into your settings and you're going to mess with your screen time. Now, I don't recommend you set overall screen time limits for your phone because, I don't know, maybe you're going to be texting people, but you can do this app by app. So if there's something that you know, ooh, I'm going to get sucked in to X or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is, go put a screen time limit. So on your iPhone, you just go to the settings and it's called screen time and you can pick, okay, for Instagram, I only get 10 minutes today. On an Android, you're going to go in the settings and it's called digital well-being. Same thing. You can set a certain amount of time that you want to be on your apps. And after that, they kick you out.
Okay, I went to a holiday party.
Okay.
Like pre-holiday party, really. And
already this year?
Yes, this year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when we showed up, there was a basket at the front door.
Put your phones in it?
Put your phones in it.
Whoa, how did it go?
You know, I didn't feel comfortable with that. I was like, you know.
I should have seen that coming.
I mean, it's like, you know, it's my phone, you know. And so Barry's like, you know, put your phone in. I'm like, I'm not putting my phone in the basket.
You refused.
I just left it in my purse. And then I went to the bathroom. I was like.
Were there a lot of phones? Do you think most people did it?
Yes.
Do you think you're the only one?
I was probably the only one that didn't. You know, and I was probably wondering I was in the bathroom all the time.
Oh, you better wait. The ghost of Christmas past is coming for you.
I have a UTI, sorry. That's just, no, I don't. I swear I didn't. But
Tis
anyway.
the season.
All right, so you're going to write all this up and put it on the site and in the newsletters and good stuff like that.
Yes.
Allie, great job as always. Thanks for being here. All right, so you're checking out on Amazon and that box appears. Do you want the extended warranty? Ugh, no, you don't. Really. I mean, unless you just drop things all the time and you're really bad with your electronics, what you want to do is see if your credit card offers you any type of extended warranty. But if you do find yourself where you really want the warranty, I mean, again, think twice. Most electronics are going to break as soon as you get it. I mean, and some of these warranties don't cover breakage if you drop it. So it's just under wear and tear. So I want you to really, really think about that before you start wasting your money on extended warranties. All right, let's see who's next. Larry in Peoria, Illinois.
My pleasure to talk to you. You are an angel out there. Really appreciate your show. I'm a huge fan. Been listening to you since Dallas when you had the pool for your homepage many years ago.
Yeah, that was funny. Yes, that's perfect.
Okay. Yeah. My question, 2 questions for you today, Kim. How do I get myself out of these people searches? You had an article or a show you talked about it in one of the tech newses about getting rid of the people search, but when I tried to do that, they started asking me for personal information to verify me, and I'm thinking, no, I don't really want to give that, do I? And the second question is about these cookies. How do I turn them all off to be sure?
Well, you got 2 different topics here, Larry. Let's talk about the people search sites. Is that for many, many months, we did something called Opt Out Tuesday. And every Tuesday, we helped you get out of a people search site. But we started running into roadblocks because we would give all the instructions on how to opt out. And then the people search sites would turn around and then change all the instructions on us overnight. Be like, oh my gosh. And the people search site, there are just so many out there with names that you don't know and I don't know. And of course, you know, there's always the big one, Family Tree now, and then you've got Zava Search and PQ, and it just goes on and on and on. It becomes a bit of whack-a-mole because as soon as you get yourself out of one site, another site will pop up with the same information or maybe even more detailed information. But you can do it. You can do it. We have steps over on Komando.com for all the popular websites. And they do have to ask for some verification. You know, so this way they know that you really, truly are you. But I'm always cautious, like you are, of giving out my driver's license to just about anybody under the sun. Nonetheless, a people search site, right? You're like, okay, what are we doing here? We have a relatively new sponsor of the show. You may have seen their ads and heard the ads, maybe seen the ads in the newsletters and heard the ads here on the show. It's a company called Incogni. It's INCOGNI. And I check out every single sponsor before I even allow them on my air, as you might imagine, because my reputation is so very important to me and trust. And I was so skeptical so skeptical. Like, yeah, sure, they're going to get me out of these people's search sites. So, of course, they give me a coupon, I sign in, and in just a matter of minutes, they removed my data from 74 different sites. I mean, literally a matter of minutes. And now I've got 114 total sites that they're working on getting rid of the data from. And these are people, search sites, but also data brokers. They do charge for this. And I think they charge $7 a month. And if you use promo code Kim, you're going to save 60%. But again, you can do this all yourself. But sometimes it's easier to maybe find a good service that will do it. And again, like I tell you, I was so skeptical, like, yeah, sure. Because I know what a nightmare it is to try to get yourself out of these sites. So that said, what were you concerned about with cookies?
Well, cookies, when you go to the site, it says how to adjust them. Well, are they already turned off so they're not doing that stuff when they're on to the left? Or we got to swipe them to the right so they're turned green or whatever to stop them from taking and tracking my personal information? I'm confused.
Well, first of all, cookies, what they do, they use really small text files, and they're put on by websites that you visit. They will hold things like anything that you left in a shopping cart, your login information, any type of personalized experience. They're not going to go in and grab your private data, but they are identifiers that could be linked to your profile on that particular site. Now, when you do go to a new website, especially depending upon what site that you live in, you may have to accept or reject all cookies. That's especially true if you're coming in from, say, the state of California that has some pretty strict privacy rules. You're in Illinois. They are also way up there as well. So I'm not surprised that you're seeing accept all cookies or reject all cookies. So what you want to do is hit the button that says reject the cookies if you don't want them. If you want to accept them, you can do that. And you're still concerned about your privacy. You want to use your browser in incognito mode or private browsing. It's not that everything's not going to be shared, but it is limited just a little bit thereafter. So I wouldn't worry about those cookies way too much. I know we all love cookies. Sometimes we don't like these type of cookies. And don't forget, you can always remove all the cookies inside your browser settings as well. Larry, thank you for your kind words, and thanks for being a fan for such a long time. And I appreciate you getting through. Pretty amazing stuff right there. All right, so you have an Amazon device in your house, and you're doing a lot of talking to it. Maybe even it's picking up conversations that it's not supposed to pick up. So here's what you can do. Go to Amazon.com/Alexa privacy settings in your browser. Once again, Amazon.com/Alexa privacy settings. And then you can review and you can delete your recordings. Or if you are using the Alexa app, just open up more, hit settings, and then Alexa privacy. You may be surprised about everything it has picked up over time. If you need those exact steps, we have them all for you at Komando.com, where 24/7 you can find me at KOMANDIO.com.